Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to Cali Two-Way. My name is Matt. So it's been a little while since I posted anything on here. I had to step away from YouTube and all social media for that matter. A lot of the videos that I make revolving around politics, our First Amendment rights, our Second Amendment rights, stuff gets stressful. It gets really stressful focusing on those things, you know, paying attention to things going on in the media and on the news and, you know, all different social media stuff revolving around our First Amendment and all the unconstitutional laws that continuously get passed and pushed through. It's just, it takes a toll on the human body. So whoever you follow on social media that digs into what's really going on in the world revolving around our constitutional rights and politics, be sure to appreciate those people. You know, subscribe to their channels, like their videos, interact with their channels. You know, that's how a lot of these people make money. That's how a lot of them support their families. A lot of times as viewers, we forget that they're human also and what they're sacrificing just to provide information and knowledge of things that are going on throughout our country. I've been wanting to make this video for a while. I haven't done it, not for any particular reason, but stepping away for a couple of weeks and kind of reevaluating things, getting back to basics, focusing on myself, focusing on my health, I'm able to see things a little bit more clear. One thing that I've noticed is a lot of us, let's talk about our Second Amendment. A lot of us that participate in exercising our Second Amendment rights, we see things clear as day when it comes to those rights and the infringements, the constant infringements on those rights. You know, all these gun control laws that continuously getting pushed, they're continuously getting passed. Us in the gun community, we see how those laws just do not work. They do absolutely nothing. The only person they affect are law-abiding citizens. You would think with, you know, people in power that are constantly pushing for these laws, you would think that they're intelligent enough to know that these laws aren't doing anything. Most of the time, I honestly believe, I guess it would be kind of a conspiracy theory per se, is they know that these laws aren't doing anything to the criminal. It's just not. Somebody who's mentally unstable, somebody who lives that type of lifestyle that has almost no self-worth, that is just going to live their day in and day out, committing crimes. We know that those laws that continuously get pushed and passed, yeah, they may be for good reason, but they do nothing. Every single gun control law that gets passed only affects the law-abiding citizen. For instance, I'm in California. One of the dumbest laws they have is the 10-round magazine law, which hopefully is going to go away soon because it does nothing. It doesn't stop the criminal. I can go to any gun show here in California and buy a magazine that holds 30 rounds and they put a damn popsicle stick in there with a little thing of glue on the bottom. So the magazine will only take 10 rounds. You don't, and they don't check IDs or anything. You could literally go to any gun show and buy 30-round magazines, 100-round drums, 15-round magazines for any gun. They're going to be aftermarket brand for the most part, but anybody can do this. Any criminal can go to any gun show and buy these magazines. Now me, as a law-abiding citizen, I don't want to lose my gun rights. I don't want to go to jail. I don't want to face a felony charge. I don't want to lose my opportunity to carry my firearm legally. So I'm going to abide by those laws. But if I was a criminal, I'd go to the gun show and buy a bunch of 30-round magazines and go sell them in the streets, make a bunch of money, and there's a bunch of 30-round magazines all over the streets for all these criminals to use. So all your little magazine bans, 10-round magazine, that's the max anybody can carry. Doesn't mean people aren't getting a hold of the damn 30-round magazines. It just doesn't. Perfect example. Hopefully, somebody's watching this video that has no knowledge of guns. I hope this video ends up on the phone or computer of all these people that support all these gun laws and all these restrictions, that think they're actually serving a valid purpose, that think they're actually going to stop crime. This is a 30-round magazine. I just bought this a couple months ago at a gun show here in California. Mine will only take 10 rounds. There's a little piece of glue on there, and there's a stick inside of here. That's how they legally sell them at gun shows. And it's not just gun shows. It's not like it's a gun show loophole. You could go to any sporting goods store that sells firearms and magazines, and they sell these things. A lot of them will say 10/30 on it. It's in the form of a 30-round magazine. I only have 10 rounds in here. Doesn't mean I can't take the damn stick out of here and take the damn glue off of here and have a 30-round magazine. I'm a law-abiding citizen, so I'm only going to have 10 rounds because I don't want to get pulled over with it on the way to the range doing law-abiding citizen things and lose those rights. But do you think any criminal is going to see this and say, I'm only going to run 10 rounds because it's the law? Hell no. They're going to pop that glue off there, they're going to take the sticks out, and they're going to run a 30-round magazine. Meanwhile, me as a law-abiding citizen, if 15 fucktards want to run in my house right now with AR-15s and they got all these 30-round magazines, I get 10 rounds to protect myself against 15 people. Chances of that happening are very slim, but it's still a possibility. So if you're watching this and you're pro-gun control and you're constantly supporting these damn people in political power that are constantly pushing these gun laws thinking that it's actually doing something, no. I guarantee you have a bunch of friends and family that exercise their Second Amendment rights, and things that you support are making it more difficult for your friends and family to protect themselves and their family. What if you're at a barbecue and you don't like guns? You don't like firearms, you support gun control, but your uncle or your cousin or your brother exercises their Second Amendment rights and they only have 10 rounds in their damn gun, and somebody pulls up to that party. It could be another one of your family members that has mental issues and is very mentally unstable and decides to shoot up your guys' little family event. And your cousin or uncle, whoever is a law-abiding citizen, they only have 10 damn rounds to protect you, your kids, your wife, husband, and the rest of your family. All because of you and the things you support. Let's start using our brains. Now, us in the gun community that are part of this gun culture, we have an obligation, which we shouldn't have to begin with, but we have a duty to speak to these people that have absolutely no clue what they're supporting. As difficult as it is, it's very hard to get through to somebody who supports these things. Their heart is in the right place. They don't want mass shootings to happen. They don't want people to die. They don't want to feel unsafe. So they hear gun control laws. Oh, we're going to get guns off the street. We're going to get AR-15s off the street. These weapons of war. And they have absolutely no clue. Think about it like this. Ask yourself, how much time throughout each day do you spend researching anything you support? If it's gun control, how much research do you do on that? How much research do you actually do on the Second Amendment? If you can't say very much, if you don't pay attention to these things that much and you just scroll social media and you're a social media warrior, then you should probably sit down and shut the fuck up when it comes to these laws. Somebody like me, and I don't even do that much, but I do way more than the average person. I do way more research on these things than the average person. So again, look at it like this. If I go to college and you go to college and we have the same class, we both have a philosophy class. Let's not even use that as an example. We both have the same math class. If I spend more time studying, I think it's safe to say that I'm going to be smarter at math than you. If you spend 1 hour a day studying and I spend 15 hours a day studying, I think I'm going to have a little bit more insight and a little bit more knowledge on the subject than you. You can't say it's any different when it comes to laws. You can't say that it's any different when it comes to our Second Amendment rights. So if you only pay attention to headlines, or you just read a news article on a shooting that happened and Joe Biden's response to it of what he's going to do with gun control, or what Gavin Newsom's response is of what he's going to do with gun control laws, you should probably sit down and shut the fuck up if that's all you're going to do and that's all you're going to read on. If you're not looking thoroughly what happens with these laws, thoroughly what happens with our Second Amendment once we start losing those rights, if you're not doing thorough research on all these topics day in and day out, you should probably sit down and shut the fuck up. Or continue on with the challenge. Actually do your due diligence and read up and educate yourself, and then come back with a valid argument. But I promise you, and you could challenge me all you want, I promise you, if you do half the research that I do, I guarantee you're going to start seeing these laws that continuously get pushed in a whole different light. And I guarantee you'll probably stop pushing for these laws. You'll stop supporting these people who are pushing these laws. It's literally, all these laws is just a control push. That's all it is. Us in the gun community, because we get so frustrated behind these topics, we can discredit a lot of these people who support those laws and kind of write them off. It becomes a battle. It becomes a fight. And it makes it really hard for people to see through the fight and see through the frustration of somebody who takes up their Second Amendment rights. It becomes very hard for us to kind of step back and have a real authentic conversation with somebody who is on the other end of things, to where nothing gets done. There's no eye-to-eye conversation. Nobody's understanding each other. I'm going to say this, and I'm sure I speak for anybody that participates in their Second Amendment rights. We want the same things as those of you who support gun control. We truly do. Every single last one of us. We don't want people to get hurt. We don't want innocent people to live in fear. We don't want kids to be hurt. We don't want anybody to be harmed or hurt. But we have to understand each other. We have to understand thoroughly the other person's point of view. It's so hard to sit here and say, if you're for gun control, you're wrong. If you're against gun control, you're right. It's so easy for me to sit here and say, I know we're right. We know you're wrong. You just don't know you're wrong. That creates such a division right there just within itself. It's going to take sitting down and saying, look, I understand where you're coming from. I totally get it. And here's the things that we can do to obtain that same goal that we both have in common. The hardest thing to do, and I'm trying to put myself in the position of somebody who supports gun control. If I supported gun control, it would be very hard. If this is something that I felt strongly about, I've been supporting political figures that support gun control, that push gun control laws. It would be very hard for me, and it would almost be a feeling of defeat if I sat here and say, you know what, I'm wrong. I'll use another example, and this is just the most touchy subject, and I guarantee this will be one of the things that people will write me off as soon as I speak on. It's no different than the whole COVID thing and the COVID vaccine thing. There's a lot of facts and truths coming out regarding those things that goes against what everybody was told in the beginning. Just on the vaccine thing, a lot of people who support gun control also supported the idea of the vaccine being mandated. Well, now we're finding out that that vaccine has a lot of harm. It hurts a lot of people. There's a lot of bad to it. And if I was a pro-vaccine person when it came to COVID, it would be very hard if I was feeling as strong as a lot of these people were feeling. It's so hard to turn around and say, you know what, I was wrong. It's a sign of defeat. A lot of these people, they know they were wrong. but they still will not admit it. They'll go to the grave saying they stood up for what was right and everybody else was wrong. That's the problem. Same problem with gun control. Same problem with our First Amendment rights. You guys jump on board sitting here saying, oh yeah, we need to silence people and some people shouldn't have a voice and some people shouldn't have guns. Some people shouldn't have 30-round magazines. Some people shouldn't have AR-15s. Everybody needs to take a vaccine. And then to turn around and admit you are wrong, something that you've been so something that you felt so strong about, and you knew in your heart, and you still think you know in your heart that you're right, but you're really not. And your views and your political ideologies and the people that you support in politics is what's wrong, is what's causing more division. Now, I'm not saying everything that's Republican and everything that's conservative is 100% right, but I know for a fact when it comes to our First and Second Amendment rights, most conservatives and Republicans, they are the ones that's right. As much as you would hate to admit it, you can't deny it. If you really do thorough research and you really do your due diligence, you'll realize that you guys are not the one who's correct. Anyways, I hope this message gets across. I hope people who really need to hear this really thoroughly hear this and understand it. And understand that it may come time for you to just swallow your pride and admit you're wrong. And this isn't me sitting here waving the winner's flag saying, oh, we're right, we're better than you. No, it has nothing to do with winners or losers. It's just what's right and what's wrong. And I understand it's hard, especially as men, to admit you're wrong. The only way we move forward in a better direction and kind of get America back on track is the people who are wrong need to do their due diligence and admit they're fucking wrong. Help each other out. Help educate each other. Have conversations with people. It's difficult. It's a long road ahead of us to get on track. That's all I got for you guys. Make sure to hit the subscribe button, turn your notifications on, comment down below, let me know what you think, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.